Good afternoon. It's almost the end of August, um, and I have obtained a bunch of books. I wasn't really trying to buy any books, but they seem to naturally gravitate towards me. So, um, I'll just show you what I got. I think I got some extremely unusual and special stuff this month. So stay tuned for a big surprise that I'll show you in the end. Um, so first up, this is a book. I don't know if you would even call this a book, but it is a songbook by a band called Black Sea Daru that I went to a concert to in the beginning of the month. If I can find a copyright free clip, then I'll show you. Yeah, so this just has a bunch of their songs with their chords, and it's very nice. It has like all sorts of art in it. It's made with love. Clearly, I paid a lot of money for it, but I think it was $20. But you support the band. It's a cool band. It was an amazing concert. And yes, very cool. But this is not something that you read cover to cover. I played a bunch of songs already on guitar. So yeah, but I still count it as a book. And then the bookstore close to my house, I sometimes just walk by there. They always have like some crates with used books that they have like on display, and they're usually like 2 or 3 euros. And I saw a book that I really wanted, and I didn't buy it, and then I came back for it. And it's Dead Souls or Die Totenseelen by Nikolai Gogol. And this edition is not in the best condition ever, but I don't know, I like the color and I kept thinking about it. I've never read Gogol before, and I just kind of wanted this, so I went back for it, got it. It was 2 euros, as you can see. Then I also saw Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid, or Kincaid, I don't know how to pronounce her name. And I had to think about my literary goal that I set in my last video about reading an author from every country. And she's from Antigua, so from a Caribbean island. And she apparently later on lived in New York, but she has that background and she grew up there, and I thought it was probably going to be interesting. And it's a short book, and yeah, just for 2 euros, something like this should be an easy pickup. And then I did something kind of stupid because they wouldn't let me pay with debit card. It's so annoying. I don't know if you have that in your countries where you're from, but in some you have places where you can only pay. You have places where you can only pay in cash, and you have also places where you can only pay with card and not with cash at all. So it's so stupid. I don't like carrying cash. I usually only have my card, and then I needed to. I don't know. I wasn't. These books I didn't get me over the amount I needed to pay with card, so I just bought a full price book. There was just, I don't know why I did that. I could have just bought like a cheap one for 1 euro and I could have traded that. But instead I bought a full price book. I bought Menschenwerk, which I'm not sure what the English title is right now. I bought Menschenwerk, which I forgot what the English title is. I'll put it on screen. By Han Kang, who of course recently won the Nobel Prize. And I've only read The Vegetarian by her. And I didn't, it didn't blow me away. I didn't dislike it, and I also didn't really like it very much. And people really seem to like this book. And it seems it seems to be quite weird and disturbing, and that's always something that I like. But this was 12 euros. Can you believe that? It's, like it's a little paperback and it's 12 euros. It's so crazy. I don't know how people buy new books from bookstores. I could buy like 4 or 5 used books for that. But, gotta support your local bookstores and stuff. Then, one of my favorite places in this city of Hamburg is the Central Library. And I like to go there to study, It's a nice working atmosphere. Everybody's like sitting with their laptops and doing some important stuff. It's nice to sit down there and to concentrate, because in my room here I can never focus on anything. And in the basement they have this crazy used bookstore where they sell old library stock. And every single book is €1. They sell every book for €1. It's mind blowing. It's I looked through every single book that they had in the whole shop. I think I spent more than 2 hours there. I looked through everything, and they even had like these crazy old editions. They had like stuff from 1930. They had like old ass books, and I didn't get any of those because most of them were parts of like bigger collections, and I didn't want to break up a collection just by one volume of it. And also the really old German books, they're written in a different font, or like in a different writing that is very hard to read for people of today. Even though I thought it would be a fun project to learn to read that kind of script, but it's hard. And anyway, I'll show you. I bought 4 books. I didn't again have any cash with me, and my friend from uni that I was studying with, she I borrowed €5 from her, and yeah, I really looked through everything and just made choices. And I still bought 4 books, which is a lot of books to buy, but each of them was €1. So first of all, I bought Salka Valka by Haldor Laxness, who is also a Nobel Prize winner from Iceland. I've never read a book from Iceland before. I'm checking 2 boxes here. I'm reading a book from a country that I've never read, and also from a Nobel Prize winning author that I've never read. And apparently this is about... I said nothing about the other books, but anyway. About this young girl called Salka and her mother, and they're kind of like traveling around, and they're homeless, and then they find a place to live in like a little fishing village. And they live in poverty, but reading about these Icelandic fjords and this nature, that really seemed very appealing to me. Translated directly from Icelandic to Hubert Zelo, by Hubert Zelo. I like that, like a lot of books in languages that are not super commonly spoken get translated to English and then to German from that, and I don't really like that very much. I'm not saying they're bad, but I just like stuff to be close to the original. Very excited to read this. Still packs 500 pages. It doesn't look that big, but I have a ton of big books. I am currently... I have a tendency to only read the short books because you can get a lot of books done in a month, but yeah, I should focus on the bigger ones more. Speaking of short books, this can barely even be called a book, this little booklet thing, by Knut Hamsun, which, honestly, I probably should do some research. I think it's from Norway. I'm not quite sure. This, I don't know, I'm saying I want to read a book by every Nobel Prize winning author. He also won a Nobel Prize. I'm not sure if this is gonna do it justice, you know? This is a little short story with not even 70 pages. Vagabundentage, Days of Vagabonds, or something like that. Yeah, this is very old. It is in pretty good condition, honestly. It's from 1959. This edition. With these, this publisher doesn't make those editions anymore. They have the. Can you see that? These little yellow booklets. That's, you know, every German knows these. That's what they make now. And that's what the old ones looked like. In a size where you can carry it in the back pockets of your pants. Then, this for me was like a treasure because I have found a Patrick Süskind novella that I've never read before, which this guy is very elusive. He's kind of like a J.D. Salinger, Thomas Pynchon kind of guy. We don't even have pictures. We don't know anything about this man, except for that he's an amazing writer. He wrote The Perfume. All of his other stuff is very, very different from that. And yeah, Die Geschichte von Herrn Sommer, the story of Mr. Summer, with cool illustrations, which makes me think that this is maybe something that would be suitable for children, with these very childlike drawings. Yeah, I love this author. I've read anything that I could get my hands on by him, and I'm thrilled to have gotten another one. And then the last book is Fata Morgana by W. Somerset Maugham. And I read On the Razor's Edge recently, and I loved it. I rated it 5 stars. This also, I think at the time where he was writing, he was kind of more of a popular fiction author, you know? They didn't really say that his stuff had a lot of value lyrically, if I'm not mistaken. And The Razor's Edge I also read in German, so that I thought it's fine if I also read this in German. I think this is a short story collection, which, you know, I like to pick these up, like from authors that I'm interested in, but they rarely ever blow my mind, you know, usually they're not that good, but we'll see. It's cool because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different stories translated by a whole bunch of different translators. I think we have like 6 or 7 different translators in here, so that actually might be interesting to see the different translation styles. So yeah, that's that. And last but not least, well, actually second to last, this book I already teased in my last video. It's Collected Lyrics 1970 to 2015 by Patti Smith. And this is also a book that I'm never gonna read cover to cover, but it has, you know, all of her lyrics, her songwriting, also pictures in Patti Smith fashion, and you probably have guessed what is so special about this is that it is signed by the author herself. That's pretty cool. I really wanted to get a signed book by one of my favorite authors or artists, I think I should say in her case. And I just looked like on eBay, like on a whim, and I found this for a very cheap price. The shipping was quite expensive because of Brexit. It was in the UK, this edition, and the shipping was like almost $30. But in total, I think I paid $90, which is a lot of money. But the book itself was only like I don't know the conversion from pound to euros, but I think it was, yeah, about 60, 70 euros. And the reason why it was so cheap, I'll show you. I don't even know if you can see it on camera. It has the tiniest little scratch on the bottom here, which you're never even gonna see with the dust jacket on. Just like a tiny little dent, you know, and that is the reason why it's like 50% reduced in price, which is crazy, man. That must suck so much to be a book reseller and to have stuff lose its value because of like a tiny little thing like that. But yeah, for a price like that, the other signed stuff that I could find by her was not affordable to me. But this, you know, that's something that I can brag about for my, like, when I have my friends over. It's, you know, it's kind of like a culty, you know, like idolizing people. I don't really like that, but this woman has given me so much inspiration, and I have experienced such thorough joys reading her books that this is just something that I really wanted to have. And now I have it. And while I'm on the topic of signed books, something unbelievable happened. I already made a short about this because I was so excited. I found this edition of Der Butt, which in English is called The Flounder, by Günter Grass. And I randomly opened it, and this is just randomly signed by the author. And I found this in a free shelf. I didn't even pay any money for it. And I looked it up, and apparently it's worth like 50, 60 bucks. And Günter Grass died like, I think like 8 or something like that. So it's gonna increase in value probably. But I love Günter Grass, and I'm never ever gonna sell this. I'm gonna cherish this forever. This is just, and it's so funny, like right after I bought this Patti Smith book, and I had this for months on my pile, and I never noticed it was signed, and I even flipped through it before. And also this had a sticker in it, Frauen für den Frieden, Women for Peace, SPD, that's the Social Democrat Party, that Günter Grass was actually a member of, and he was kind of politically active in that party. So that makes me think what the story of that book might be. Maybe someone picked it up at a Social Democrat event and he was there to sign it or something like that. And this sticker, I didn't look it up on the internet yet, but this seems very old too. And this is actually, I think this is the first edition, I'm not sure, but this is from 1979, so I think the sticker might be equally as old. And usually I take stuff out of books, but this I think I'm gonna keep in here. It just feels like it belongs in there. So yeah, man, this is crazy. Someone must have mistakenly put it on the free shelf. I don't know. They could have made some bucks with that, but now I have it, and I love it, and I'm very grateful to whoever put it on that shelf. Also, I'm about 40 pages in. This is one of the weirdest books I've ever read in my life. And my doorbell just rang, so I think I'll call it quits here. Goodbye.